What's going on, everybody? I'm Keith, host of Just Our Thoughts with the Fellas, where 4 to 5 of my brothers give their perspective on national as well as local news. We touch on some trending hot topics as well as culturally relevant news. We also get a chance to dive into some deep core conversations. Check us out live every other Monday at 7 p.m. You can find us on Just Our Thoughts on YouTube live, as well as Just Our Thoughts fan page on Facebook. Also, please don't forget to follow us on IG, JOT with the Fellas. What's going on, fellas?
What's up?
What's up, fellas?
What's going on,
man? How's everybody doing today?
Oh man, we doing
good,
well, man. We good.
KD
man.
got his Camden High gear on. We want to celebrate and congratulate the city of Camden tonight.
Yes.
For doing their thing yesterday, winning the championship, Group 2, Group 3. Camden High, Woodrow Wilson, the city of Camden did their thing and brought the prospective championships home. So we celebrating yesterday, just the entire city. If you was there, if you were watching on TV, it was just so heartwarming to see the boys, the city of Camden, come together and bring something home, that championship home today, fellas. So how y'all feel about that, man? Any thoughts on that?
Loving it.
Yeah.
Camden proud, man. Camden proud, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here in the city, man, and I just get to see everybody glowing from just pride, watching these young people achieve one of the highest statuses in sports. And big shout out to Wilson and Camden High, man, for really putting these boys forth and them really giving their all in that tournament. So big up, man.
Yeah, I'm so happy, man, and proud of those boys too, man. I mean, they worked hard, man, to accomplish that, man. Group 2 for the high state champions and Woodrow Wilson. Group 3 state champions, man. Yeah, the city, man, is like the city of Camden, man. And real quick, what I wanted to point out, man, it was a joy, man. Did you see where the Camden High School cheerleaders were cheering? Wilson? That was big, man. That's what you call team spirit right there.
City spirit right there.
I was
City
loving
spirit.
that. They showed much support for each other. It was ridiculous.
Yes.
Their Camden High band playing for them. It was great. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Almost felt like I was there.
Yeah. But you want to talk about a warm feeling that the last couple minutes, man, of that Wilson game was crazy.
And I saw that.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Yeah,
you want to talk about a warm heart, to see the students win, man. Camden Highs was a blowout. I think we won by almost 40 points. But Wilson's story was dope. They missed the first few games of the season and then just took it, the rest of the season. So they had a dope story. I don't know all the details of it, but it was amazing. We want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. If you can share this podcast. We got a crazy, amazing, informational podcast coming tonight. A good conversation with Dr. Paul Hopkins. He joined us last January 2021 and was able to drop some gems on us to help our bodies get into natural alignment, specifically during when I think it was during that time the vaccine was being rolled out. So he was able to drop some gems on us, so join us, tonight. If you can, share this podcast, tell your friends. Dr. Paul Hopkins is a busy man doing amazing work, and we don't want you to miss it. So in a few minutes, we're going to bring Dr. Paul on, but I want to introduce the fellas. I can't do this by myself, so I got to do this with my fellas, man. My brothers at arms, the brothers that keep me sharp. Wardy, what's up, Wardy?
What's going on, King?
How you feeling, man?
Hey, man, I'm good.
You good?
A little tired.
Okay.
Trying to get back in the swing of things, but
I got you.
I'm here. I'm up. I'm vertical.
It's good to have you here. KD Shakur, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up? What's up, fellas?
How you doing, man?
Oh, man. Yeah, it's a beautiful day outside, man. Beautiful, gorgeous.
Yeah.
It would have been a great day to hit Cooper River, man. Get a few miles in, man. But I'm glad for the weather breaking. Glad, like Wardy said, to be alive on this evening. And we got a great guest, man. I can't.
Yes.
I'm salivating. I'm salivating.
I did see some of one of our classmates walking today. at Cooper River on my way home from work.
Okay.
So shout out to Celine. I seen Celine.
Okay.
Celine, what's up,
Celine was out there walking.
Hey, KD, that ski cap, man. I think you need some gazelles with that ski cap. You know, you got the ski cap with the ball on the top. You need some gazelles with it, man.
Hey, shout out to
Joanne ski goggles to the side.
Shout out to Joanne Daniels Crump, who hooked me up with the limited edition Panther and hat, and hoodie and hat. So yeah.
You know, you can go to E. Coleman and get some ski goggles.
Yeah, you definitely can.
I'm good. I'm good. Ski trip.
And last but not least, my brother E Dub, capital E. What's going on, E?
What's going on, INF, Wardy, and the Professor? Hey. All is well, man. I'm loving KD rocking that paraphernalia.
Yes, sir.
Man. I mean, it just warms my heart, man. It just reminds us of the days, man, that we was at the high, you know, before us and after us, man. To see that rich legacy, man. But that's it, man. I'm ready, man. Let's bring this show, man, and have a lot of positive bring energy. Let's do it.
Yes, sir. Dr. Paul, we're gonna bring Dr. Paul on. Dr. Paul, we appreciate you tonight.
What's up,
Dr. Paul, with your holistic approach. How you doing, sir?
Oh man, I'm doing good, brother. I'm in the house with the brothers, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like that's the virtual hug.
That's a virtual hug.
Dr. Paul.
Oh man, it's always a pleasure. Paul. Hey, brothers, you know, I think it is a pleasure to always be with you. You know, it's something that happens when brothers come together. Iron sharpens iron, you know what I mean? So with that, you know, we get sharper by just being in our presence with each other, and we'd have that energy, you know, that we connect. So it's always a pleasure, man, when Kevin Kev say, yo, man, you want to roll back? I say, yeah. What time? All right, I'm here.
Hey, Doc, so you I think it was last January 2021 when you joined us. It was last January.
Last January? Wow.
Yes,
man,
yes.
Man. Wow. That's amazing.
It's
amazing how things do.
I think it is amazing how time just continues to fly. And now we're here at 2022, and we're so grateful to have you back. What's some of the things you've been doing this last year, Doc?
Well, it's been candle burning on both ends, you know, with the radio shows. We have the WURD, of course, one of the only Black-owned radio stations in the country now. I'm still on there. Got 2 shows on there.
Okay.
One Saturday morning, which is the Dr. Paul Holistic Health Show, which comes on Saturday morning, and that's at 9 o'clock. And then we have the Sunday at 3 p.m. called the Green Hour. And I started another show. I started a Zoom sort of get together because I thought that, you know, I think last time we talked, I had a combination of live where we would come together at different locations. I was at several different churches. Had one at the Eagle's Nest where I had the men's group called the Men's Gathering. Then I had a women's group called Natural Woman. Because, you know, when the men do something, the women say, well, wait a minute.
Right.
You got to have something for us.
What about us?
What you trying to say, Doc? So I had to straighten that up real quick. So we got the women's group, and we had those groups. And then when Corona hit, they called the Pandeezy. When the Pandeezy hit, that's when we had to actually start to now go virtual. So I said, well, what I'm going to do with this? So we started what's called the Family Tree. And every Wednesday evening, I have a Zoom call where basically you just go to the website, sign up, and then I'll send you an invitation, very much like StreamYard and all the other ones. And then you're part of the family, and we just chop it up. You know, sometimes we get over 200 something people in on the Zoom call. So we just, go in, and I thought there would be no better place to have something where people can really talk about really what's they're not hearing. There's a lot of things that are being, shadow banned and things that are not talked about. If you want to be fair, then give me both sides. If I only get a one-sided story, it's always going to be a slanted story. And we're still not getting that. And that's why we just provided that for the family. Somewhere where you could talk about, oh, well, I heard this, well, I heard that. So we just chopped it up, and then, then you can make your decision what you want to do.
Yes.
But I think no matter what you decide, at least have both sides before you move forward. So that's the Family Tree every Wednesday evening at 7 p.m.
Got you.
Yeah, let me jump in, Dr. Paul.
That's
my doctor right there. I've had 2 appointments with Dr. Paul. And Dr. Paul, I just want to, for HIPAA, I'm just going to be fully transparent with my visit with you.
Not
so
the HIPAA's
out the window.
Not to diagnose, treat, kill, prevent any disease. Just for the show. Got to say that disclaimer.
Yes, sir.
Warren, I got to watch you, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I had my second appointment with Dr. Paul in February. And, I specifically, I wanted to come to you because I wanted to follow up to see where my pH was. And I want you to take some time to really talk about that a little bit, the pH and my numbers. And also I came to you because I've been talking about on the show how I've been dealing with prostate issues. Nothing to the point of cancerous, but dealing with that enlarged prostate. So we talked about that as well. But when I first came to you, we did my test. You talked to me about my pH. My number at the time I came to you was at a 5.1. So with that number, just talk about a little bit about the importance of getting that pH to the number that it needs to be and what my 5.1 tells about me.
Yeah, we look at the pH because the pH represents the energy of the body. The body really doesn't want to look for anything. It's really all about the pH. Remember, hydrogen is the greatest source of energy in the universe. Wherever there's hydrogen, there's energy. There's a presence of energy. Hydrogen bomb, hydrogen fuel cells, also all of the Tesla cars and all this stuff. And also anything like the sun. The sun is a hydrogen fusion reaction. So wherever there's hydrogen, there's energy. So that means in every cell in your body, you have a little car engine. And that car engine is hydrogen. That's the center core. So that means that when we look for pH, we're looking for the potential gain or loss of that energy inside of you. So technically, we're looking to see how much life is in you. Got it? Now, when energy hits you, remember, energy spins. So energy spins when you check this out to the right, like a circle you see in the cell. When it spins fast or slow, it moves to the right. That's a healthy cell. Okay. That's when it moves regular clockwise. That is a cell that is moving in an alkaline state. That's a negative charge. Got it? Now, when it moves fast to the left, then it's moving at a speed. That's when it speeds up and it moves fast. That's the acid. That's a positive charge. Here we go. Negative, positive. Sounds like a battery, don't it?
Yeah.
Exactly. When you got batteries, right? When you got the remote control and the remote control go bad, you say, man, these batteries, give me some new batteries. Got to get some fresh batteries, right? What kind of batteries you go buy, right?
Double A, baby.
What kind, though? What kind?
Alkaline.
Alkaline batteries, right?
That's right.
And then when they start to go bad, and then next thing you know, if you keep them in there too long and they explode, right? What have you ever had it? You open it up and it's got all this. What is that?
That's rust, that corrosion. Yeah.
Right.
Acid. You got it. Don't get that on your hands. Same thing is happening inside of us. So when we're going into a state of degeneration, we're going into a state of acidosis. Where if you need to be in balance, you need to be on an alkalose. You need to be in the state of alkaline. And that's why we do the testing. The testing is to see where are you? Because we know that bacteria, virus, fungus, sepsis, parasites, cancer, COVID, all that stuff lives in an all acid state. Got it? And it cannot live in an all alkaline state. So wait a minute. How come Fauci ain't talking about that one?
Right.
How come Fauci ain't talking about just balancing your pH? Because that would solve everybody's problem right there. Because you know that a virus can't live in that environment, so you basically defeat the value of where it can live in. And that's when you get into a state of alkaline. So we do this test. We do a saliva test, and then we do a urine test. Together, you would do this test with these little strips called pH testing strips. pH testing strips. I thought I might have some around here somewhere. But pH testing strips from there, saliva, urine, and then we have a little math problem. And the math problem determines where you are. So if you want to, I can give you the formula. You want the formula right now?
Yes, sir.
All right. The formula is double the saliva, add to the urine and divide by 3. So double the saliva, add to the urine, divide by 3. And that will give you your number for where you are. Now, the zone in which you should be for a healthy body, for all this bacteria, virus, fungus, parasites, and cancer to be in a state of balance, you should be between 6.5 and 7.5. That's the healthy zone. That means when you're in that zone, your cells are spinning which way? Remember, we said alkaline spins what? To the right. To the right. Energy spins. Remember, energy spins to the right and slow, because your white blood cells and your red blood cells move in an oxygen state. Got it? So that's to the state to the right, slow. Okay. But then when they start to tear down, that's when they lose the oxygen, because technically only cancer is nothing but a cell when it loses 60% of its oxygen and is only working on 40%. That's technically a cancer cell. That's what it really is. Got it? Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.
Okay.
It's all about the mitochondria, and this is what they don't want people to know, is that it's all about the cells on the cellular level.
Wow. Right.
So now when you're in 6.5 to 7.5, you start to get your foods. You got to start eating food that's in that zone. Because remember, what the Bible says, only life begets life. Only life can give you life. That's like a fresh battery. Ain't nobody ever buy no dead batteries. Who wants to buy dead batteries?
Makes sense.
Buying dead batteries, right? So it's not the broccoli you're eating or the vegetables and the fruits. It's the energy in them. So that's why we test that. So we test that. We do that test, and you can do that test usually always before a meal, never after a meal, always before a meal.
Yes.
Okay.
And so 5.1 falls in that acid state.
Yes.
But we talked about how to bring that up. So you're going to find good waters, you know, not conventional fruits and vegetables, but organics. This is why organics and conventionals play the different role, you know, because they, you know, people say, oh, well, it costs a little cheap, you know, it's cheaper. But guess what? Cheaper energy too. There's no energy.
No energy.
Got it. So you get what you pay for.
Dr. Paul, so we did my testing. Did my saliva and my urine, 4.5 for my urine. Saliva was a 5.5. We did the math, and I fell in that 5.1, being in a state of acidosis. You know, and you told me what I need to do to bring it out. One of the things that you talked about extensively with me was, you said the first thing I want you to do, I want to get your liver clean.
Yes.
And one of the things that you told me to get,
there you go. Yeah.
burdock root. So talk a little bit about the liver being an important piece in all of this to kind of get me in a state of balance, and what the burdock root is important for.
Yeah. Burdock root, whenever you see a state of acid or acidosis, we know we're tearing down on the cellular level sometimes 10 to 20 times faster. So the body immediately says, well, if you're not going to give me any alkaline from the foods that you're eating, I got to keep you alive by any means necessary. That's like if you cut yourself. You have to tell yourself to heal. You automatically start to heal. So the body is just trying to keep you alive. So what does it do? If you're not feeding me, then I'm going to have to grab it from somewhere else. So that's when I'm going to grab it from the calcium out of your bones. I'm going to grab it out your hip. I'm going to grab it out the knees, the joints, the ligaments. That's when people say, I'm aching like a toothache all on my body. That's because you're in a state of too much acid. So when that happens, that also pollutes the blood. Got it? It pollutes the blood. Because your liver on your right-hand side, everybody touch your right side, right on the right side, right under your right side, your other right, that one. The right side. That is actually right there where you might feel something like, oh, what was that? If you're eating or something right there, that's where a lot of people feel that pain right there. That's just the liver saying, you know, we need to get this thing clean, because when you want to clean the entire body, you start with the liver. That's to clean the blood. That's also, your liver is what's called the nuclear reactor for the body. That's your power source. 8 hours of reserve energy is in your liver. It's amazing. That's like a backup battery for your phone. It's amazing. And then from that, digestion, all those things break down, but you clean the blood, because all the blood flows through every organ every 20 minutes. So when you clean the liver, you clean all the blood. Now that burdock root right there.
The burdock root, talk to me.
Woo, that's a monster right there, Jack. That's a monster. That is good because it cleans the blood, cleans the liver, cleans all the organs, but definitely it goes to the brain and starts to clean the brain. Because the liver is the only organ connected directly to your brain.
Wow.
So it fires off these things that starts to balance out your pineal gland. It's a melanin generator. So that means that it actually allows you to deal with, the hormones or the endocrine system of your body. Some call it, or Earth, Wind, and Fire called it the serpentine fire.
Right.
It gives you all the abilities. So whenever you need, when you're having problem concentrating, focus, cloudiness, that's the liver. Start to take things like burdock root, all that stuff clears out.
Okay. All right.
And now also it cleans the skin incredibly. Because when people remember when you're cleaning the liver, you're also cleaning the skin because it's pushing it out. So what happens is that's when people have bumps, blisters, boils, psoriasis, eczema, all that stuff coming out of the skin. That's coming from the liver.
Right.
So that's why it's always good to have a good liver cleanse in your diet. So burdock root is the truth.
Right.
Okay.
Another piece that we talked about also was you said I need to start. You talked about the fruits and the vegetables. The other thing you recommended was the natural green balance.
Yes.
As well.
Yes. The natural green balance is my product line. That's the greatest source of hydrogen on the planet is in that container. I specifically went to the places where it has the highest hydrogen, which is the land and the sea of the herbs and specific minerals and also trees and also sea vegetables that have the highest hydrogen. And that's what's in that formula. So a lot of the herbs that I get are closer to the equator. So you want the highest form, something from the land, something from the ocean together in a powdered green drink. That's the quickest way you can get energy into your system without having to use any energy. See, that's the key. Digestion is the key. When people right now, their digestive systems are so jacked up. Their stomach and their guts are jacked up because of the processed food. They have no ability to assimilate, and that's the problem. So when people are eating, the body's just pushing it out. I can't even get that. And then next thing you know, that's why the green drink helps to raise the pH, right? Put you in the right space. Got it? But it also helps to raise the pH, but also cleanse the body, but also get the pH right, and then give you the proper diet and nutrients for the day. So it's a multivitamin. It's like a multivitamin. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Hey, Doc. Just this one quick question. Actually, I have a question, but I wanted to ask this question: are blood glucose supplements good for reducing A1C?
It depends on what blood glucose supplement you're talking about. Not to diagnose, treat, kill, prevent any disease, just food for the soul. I don't recommend the minerals. I recommend the herb. Because when you start to get into vitamins and certain types of minerals, you got to know what you're deficient in before you go there. But if I take it from the plant directly, the plant's already alive. It's already functioning in balance, or else it wouldn't grow. So you take not the potassium that's isolated, because whenever you isolate, separate, or divide something, you strip it down. You just took it away from its family. You just abandoned it. Got it? Make sense?
Yes.
So when people take potassium, they'll say, "Oh, well, they get their blood test, something back. So, oh, yeah, you're lacking potassium or something's going. All right, well, take a potassium pill. But wait a minute, you took the potassium, but that potassium came from somewhere. In most cases, it came from a plant. So instead of grabbing the potassium, what you need to do is go back to the plant that provided you the potassium, which was in a family. It was in a family of the nutrients, both discovered and undiscovered. So that's why I would say for diabetes, we have one called Gymnema, Gymnema, Gymnema. Okay. Second word is called Sylvestre, SYL, V as in Victor, ESTRE. That one shows a lot of benefits for folks that helps to regenerate the pancreas for those that are diabetic to balance the sugar. See, that is one that it's a sugar balancer, it's a sugar balancer. It also is dealing with sugar cravings also. Yep. So that's why it really helps to restart the pancreas and get it going. Now, also some of the other ones we use would be like bilberry, any of the blueberry, bilberry, huckleberry. Those are all the family of the pancreas regenerators. Now, I will also say to someone who is diabetic, you have to stay away from concentration. Concentration is your enemy. Concentration. Got it? Remember, every time you give me something that's concentrated, that means where all the moisture is taken off of there. Too much concentration, refined sugar, refined salt, refined oil. There's no moisture there. So everything is those minerals there, nothing to break down. That's dehydrated. So every time you give me something like that, I'm going to shut it down because I need water. I got to find water from somewhere. Where am I going to take it from? I'm going to take it from your arteries and your veins. That's why diabetics always have things like neuropathy, issues with nerve endings, blood pressure issues, kidney problems. You got it? It all works hand in hand, and heart problems because it's taking the moisture out of them. They got to really deal with that whole level of, sugar. Because with sugar, ultimately we deal with folks with sugar on another level. Because on every level, there's different things, spirit, mind, and body. So when you have the mind, you got to understand what sugar represents. Sugar represents wanting, it's how you give and receive love. That's real deep. How you give and receive love. That's what, because remember, you've been rewarded. We've all been rewarded by sugar. Think about it. Think about it. He said, "Come here, little boy, little girl, take that lollipop. Come here, give me some sugar. Honey, I'm home.
Right. Give me some sugar."
Everything is a reward system. You got to remember that. Got it? Yeah. So don't reward your children or yourself with sugar. That's the key. So it's an emotion. It deals with emotions. So we got to know whenever we have those cravings, we got to sort of ask ourselves, what am I doing now? Do I need to give more love, or do I need to receive more love? That's deep, bro. That's
my God.
That's because people will be like, yeah, man, I never thought about that. We got the Disney Rose, man.
Makes sense.
Got it.
Go ahead, Doc. No, Doc, if I could, man, I just wanted to give a testimony, man. On our last show, for those who didn't see the last show, the fellas and I, we were talking about, the water that we drink, and I thought about that because you were just talking about moisture. So, the water that I have been drinking, right, and Ward has a nice testimony too. Is that crystal geyser water that you mentioned. Now, Doc, you can, like you said, man, a year ago, you can get that in the dollar store, right?
Yes, you can.
But let me tell you this, and this is the honest to God truth, Doc. I went into 4 different dollar stores within the past month, and nobody had it. This $1 store told me that it is on back order.
Wow.
I'm saying that to say the secret is out, Doc.
Yeah, I think so. They're telling me to shut up on the radio. One lady came in and said, I found a spot, but I ain't telling you because you're going to tell it. So I said, ain't no good. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. That's why I tell people, remember, wherever man's involved with anything, you're going to talk about eventually corruption. Be careful. So that's why I say, remember, this is about science. Crystal Geyser just happens to be the one that is the least expensive for the human family right now. But remember, it's always any water that's spring water bottled at the source. Remember, we're looking for any water that's been in either geysers or aquifers. Those are deep in the earth, untouched by air. So when they tap it, it's so deep in the earth that literally when you open it for the first time, that's the first time it touches air. So that's why that's a good water. So when we test the Crystal Geyser, the thing's off the chart. It's 8.5. It blows away Fiji, which is Hollywood's water. Hollywood's water is only 7.9. Crystal Geyser right in the dollar stores, 8.5. I tell people, man, you can't see God, you ain't looking, bro. I'm sorry. See God, you ain't looking.
Yes.
Something as simple as that, right in the dollar store, and it's $1.
Up and everything.
Yeah. I had something similar. I started drinking it, and I found my sugar levels were actually stabilizing. You know, they were they dropped, you know, a little bit, but they weren't all up and down all over the place. Well, of course, I fell off, and when I went to my doctor, you know, I was telling her that, you know, she was like, "Well, what happened?" And I said, "Well, I kind of stopped drinking a certain water." Well, that ain't got nothing to do with it. And I'm like, and I you know, I gave her that side eye, and I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm not, I really don't, you know, but I really do feel as though that really has something to do with it. Because man, my numbers just went way out of whack after not drinking it.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. Everybody falls off the wagon. I tell people, just dust yourself off, jump back on the wagon, keep it moving, because we all have to get into another dynamic with these days and times. For such a time as this, where you have a country we live in that that does not have mandatory labeling laws. You got it. So it means anywhere else in the world, that's all around the world, in Europe and all around the world, they have mandatory labeling laws. That's all of Europe, China, Russia, all these places got it, but we don't have it. Even India, 2/3 of their population is in poverty, and they can pass a GMO bill. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. This is ridiculous. So what does it mean? It just means that, you know, it's a lot of politics involved, and you have to become your own, you know, gatekeeper for you and your family. But you got to know what the rules are. Nobody laid the rules out for us. So what we're talking about should have been taught to us in school.
Absolutely.
You know, this is something that we should have talked about, holistic health, and how to, you know, and they're still talking about milk being good for you and meats and all these dairies and stuff like that. We know that sticks to your gut. Cow's milk is for calves, not for human consumption.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Simple as that. It's not for human consumption. It's for a calf with 4 stomachs. You know, we ain't got no 4 stomachs. Some of us eat like 4 stomachs, but we ain't.
Hey Doc, if I can, we briefly touched on white blood cells, and you were sharing a little bit about, you know, how it's really attached to the blood. If you could really go into that and give me some, you know, some info.
Yeah, they know that, you know, we're in the most toxic times ever is right now because of the man-made products and the things that are going. Just like we were talking about the liver. Why one of the reasons that makes burdock root so strong is the fact that it's a blood cleanser. So you have to keep that blood clean. If you want to build your immune system, the number one thing you got to do is clean the blood. That's the hemoglobin. That's all the, you know, your blood counts, you know, the red and white blood cell counts. You got to keep them nice and strong. And the way you do that is to feed the body. Feed the body, it corrects itself. So we start to go back to all those herbs that do the cleaning of the blood. So you remember old folks back in the day used to have a term. They said, you know, when you got sick, they said you just got tired blood. They just told you, you got tired blood. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You just got tired blood. And then they would go out and grab you an herb and then steep that thing in some tea, man, and make that and say, hey, take that for about a week or 2. Next thing you know, stuff goes away. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. You got it? Your body can't. It's the freeway of the blood is the life of the body. And if it's sending mixed signals, it can't possibly do communication. That's where cholesterol is out of whack. That's where, you know, we're already living in the wrong part of the planet. We're in the northern hemisphere where we don't get the right sunlight. So now vitamin D issues are affecting the blood. Everybody's malnutrition when it comes to vitamin D. So all of these things are factors for cleaning the blood. Now, I'm going to give you a heads up. On my website, for this very purpose, I put up 80 blood cleansers that are traditionally used around the world. And I just stopped at around 80 or 90, somewhere around 80 or 90. I stopped there. And I just pulled out of the naturopath bag from all of the doctors, that probably have, holistic doctors and healers that have been using stuff for eons. And I posted it on my website. So you can go to it. It's I called it Dr. Paul's Traditional Blood Cleansing Herb List. And it's about 80 of them. Now, here's the thing, because you know how folks get. This 80. Lord, which one do I need, Doc? Here's the key. Pick one. That's it.
That's it.
They no flip. Just pick one. That's all. Just pick one. That's how, because these herbs are so autonomous. That means that they've been around for billions of years. They don't need no help. One. And work with that one. And you can fight off all of this stuff. That's what's so scary about it, man. Because that takes the whole allopathic industry right out the window, because they're like, yo, you get one. And if you pull that up, you can see that. So go to drpaulherbs.com and then go into download, and you'll see under there the blood cleansing list.
All right. Dr. Paul, so still on my second visit, a couple other things that you threw at me, Dr. Paul. You told me, by looking at my work that I did on that day, you said that I didn't look like I was hydrated. According to my numbers, I looked like I was good as far as my hydration. But one of the things that you recommended was golden seal root.
Yes.
And you told me take it once a day, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, and then back on. The first time I came to see you, you said you saw a little bit of blood in there. You put me on the golden seal root, and when I came back to you, you didn't see any of that.
Yes.
So you said it looked good, but you wanted me to continue with that. So what's one of the benefits of the golden seal root? Because I'm back now. I'm back off my 2 weeks now. This week I'm back on it daily for the next 2 weeks. What's one of the benefits of that golden seal root, Doc?
Golden seal was always a layman's herb for the starter of, when you're getting into holistic health, because it does so much. Golden seal has always been known to be the natural version of the natural antibiotic. Got it? So if you have any infection in the body or anything like that, that's what it will do. It will go in and clean every organ in the body. Matter of fact, that's also how back in the day, brothers used to be, passing the piss test, they would take a whole bunch of golden seal and it would get you squeaky clean, and they couldn't figure out what was going on. So the NFL, Major League Baseball, all of them were like, yo, I know they got to be doing it because we following them. So how in the world, we know they doing it, but how were they passing the test? They didn't know they were using golden seal. Wow. So what they started doing is now implementing in the urine test. They have a golden seal indicator now. So they see on there, they know you got him.
A golden seal indicator to detect it.
The NFL is now doing that. Yep. So because they know it gets you squeaky clean. That's what it tells you. It gets you squeaky clean. So when you take it, though, you can't take it like a long time. Just like any antibiotic, you build antibodies to it, and you can't take it for a long time. So you got to take it in a series, and what we call a protocol. So the protocol is 2 weeks on, and it's taken as recommended on the bottle. 2 weeks on, 1 week off, 2 weeks back on, and then you quit it for a whole month.
Okay.
And then after that, you can repeat the cycle. And it's always based on, we always start folks off with 2 cycles. So first cycle ends, wait a month, and then repeat the cycle. And that gets rid of one of the number one things that I'm seeing right now, gentlemen. Number one thing I'm seeing right now is urinary tract infections, UTI. Got it? Because people are holding it. People are holding the urine. So you can't hold your urine. Don't hold your urine. If you got to go, go. Right. And it affects our sisters more than anything, because number one, for men, when we're out, it's easy for us to stop somewhere. We ain't got to touch nothing. We just stand up, do what we got to do. And it's a good deal, right? But women got to get sitting, they're not going to go into these public restrooms.
Right.
Right. So they'll tell you, I'll wait till I get home.
Yeah.
Right.
Y'all done heard that, right? You're like,
yeah, I know for sure.
You can hold it. Come on.
I'm not going in there.
And then they don't know why they got a UTI.
Right. But see, what happens is when you hold it in that lower burner, the lower part of your body is called the lower burner or the lower chakra, the root chakra. That's the perfect condition. That's where you generate more heat in that lower part of your body. So in that part down here, that's where it's the perfect condition for bacteria, virus, fungus, all that stuff to grow.
Makes sense.
So when you hold it, and not going, and then finally they go, and then when they go, they come out and say, doggone, I feel like I didn't go all the way, or I feel like I still got some left, that I got this reoccurring feeling. That's when they that's what's happening is it's empty, but the lining of the bladder is slightly infected. And that's when they're getting urinary tract infections. And a lot of people are having it, especially our seniors also. So women, if I had to look at the scale of what I'm seeing is women, seniors, senior women, senior men, and then going down to the children. That's what we have because they're holding it and you got to let it go. Don't, if you got to go. Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got, I did listen to your show this past weekend and you talked about something that was very interesting to me.
Okay.
Can you explain to our audience how do we poop? How to poop?
Oh, you heard that show?
Yes, that show.
That's good.
Yes, because people don't realize that, they just say, oh, nobody ever had to explain to me to poop. I just poop.
Right,
you go. But really, there is a time that you should be eliminating. The first fundamental rules that we have universal principles that we should not be breaking, that we're breaking. And that is, if you eat, you must eliminate. Got it? So if you're eating 3 times a day, you should be eliminating 3 times a day. But then there's also, we have the way in which we're not releasing all of the debris that's trapped into the lower intestines or the large intestines, in this case with the colon. Right. So what we have is a technique that we do to help folks to relieve themselves. Number one, stay off the refined sugar, refined salt, refined oils, waters, all that top 10 toxic foods you can grab also on my website. Stay away from them. And at the same time, when you start to prepare, you have to train the body how to get into this thing called circadian rhythm with your bowel movements. Got it? So you train your body by the way of, have a set time that you want to eliminate first, and if it's a certain time in the morning, certain time in the afternoon, certain time in the evening, write it down. Say, this is what I'm going to do. And people are like, wait a minute. You mean you're going to tell your body when you're going to go? Absolutely. Yes, you can do this. It's an amazing thing. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to blow your mind. All you have to do is when you go into the bathroom, you have to prepare your body to release. So you have to send the signal. That's about time to go. So if it's in the morning or afternoon, or say for it's in the afternoon. So when you go in the bathroom, thanks for bringing this up, by the way. So what you got to do, you got to start them. Number one, when you sit on the toilet, you just start to massage the stomach. That's your indicator. Your indicator is letting the body know, all right, this is what we in here for. We're going to do this.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here. You start to massage the intestines. So you remember the large intestine goes like this. I don't know if you're all looking at me right here. So it's probably reversed by this, but it goes up the ascending side, transverse, and descending. Got it? Yes. That's the way it looks. Got it? Ascending, transverse, and descending is the way it moves. So a lot of people, especially if you're a meat eater, it gets trapped on this side going down. Gets trapped on that side. That's why people had little pains on the side, especially if you're a heavy beef eater. Beef eaters, steaks, hoagies, that stuff gets trapped on that left side. So what happens is when you're massaging, I want you to massage all the way up to the transverse and down the other way. Yeah, the other way. There you go. That's the way you would go. And then that goes down through the anus to the rectum, all the way through to release. Got it? So here's what you got to do. When you're doing this and releasing, you're breathing at the same time, because a lot of us are not breathing properly. So inhale through the nose or the mouth, and when you breathe out through what's called pursed lips, which looks like this, like that. And never raising the chest. Always this, it's the abdomen, it's the stomach that you raise. You never raise your chest. Got it? So people, when you say take a deep breath, they go like this.
Right.
No, you're down here at the bottom, right?
Right.
It's like a baby. A baby breathes from down here. Got it? So if you lay on your back, if you still got a problem, lay on your back and let gravity retrain you. So when you breathe in, stomach's going to go up. Breathe out, stomach's going to go down. So as you're doing this while you're on the toilet, got it? You're going like this, massaging and you're breathing. Right? There you go. There you go. That's right. Then after that, you're going to feel like it's about to, here we come. Here we go. So here's what you do. You do a little locking mechanism. You arch your back and you lock your hands. I know this is funny, Eric, because we were laughing. Everybody was like on the road. They was laughing. People were like saying, yo, we were hysterical. They had their kids doing it because nobody ever showed you how to poop, right? Nobody ever, and I was showing people how to poop on the radio. only here, right? So you lock your hands like this, and then you flip them like that, and you push them straight up. Push them straight up just before you about to eliminate. And you go like this. The air can't even do it now. See, when you arch your back just before you're about to go, you expand the descending side on your left side, colon, twice.
Wow.
Double the expand. So now you get double elimination. Man, people started calling back, man. They was like, man, I ain't never go like that.
Really?
He said, man, I unloaded, man. This right here expands the colon. When it expands the colon, it actually releases. This is excellent for children, man. Children,
nice.
They catch it real good. So the concept of this is that that's just one method. There's actually three. So that's one right here. The other one is to have like a small stool in front of your toilet. Some people have a little small stool that they can prop their feet up on.
Right.
All right. And they prop their feet up on it because it mimics what we call the Bushman squat. We call it the Bushman squat. It's symbolic of when you see a Bushman, they took an African concept. And when you bend over like that, the legs press against that ascending and descending side. Got it? And then that means you eliminate all that's in, full elimination of the colon. So what they do is when you have a stool in front of you, you just lean slightly forward, not doing this one, but you can lean slightly forward and it eliminate. So the stool works good. There's also a product brand that was actually a brand that came out through Shark Tank, matter of fact. It's called the Squatty Potty. It's called the Squatty Potty. Okay. So you can buy this right on and it goes, and it's like a step that sits right around your toilet. It actually slides right across there. That's why Shark Tank was like, yo, this is great. So they actually have it. You can buy it in most stores or go online. It's called the Squatty Potty. And then you just slide it from under there and your feet pop right up on it. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
So either one of those methods work. I'm telling you, it is the biggest problem people have is constipation right now.
Sure.
Too much processed foods, y'all. Too much processed foods. Dehydration. Also, diabetics have to watch out for anything that pours slow. Anything that pours slow. Think about it. If it pours slow, it's been dehydrated, right? Remember I told you, every time you give me something dehydrated, I got to find water to put it out. Got it? Or balance it out. So anything that pours slow would be like what? Syrups. What else?
How about honey?
Honey, agave. Now that might not be good. It's not bad for everybody. It's just for the person that's insulin resistant.
Okay,
got it. That's the key. That's the key. So if someone is insulin resistant, they're going to have a problem with that. So we just say it's not bad. It's just not good for you.
Okay.
Hey, Doc, for someone who has mostly a raw diet, but their cholesterol is high, and their cholesterol is around 260, 275 is between that number. How can they lower it? And what do you think some of the reasons could be where their cholesterol is high and they have a raw diet?
Yeah, I would say definitely whenever we look at cholesterol, you got to look at the oils. You got it. See, they've put this one, if I had to specifically go after one, it would be the canola oil. Got it? Canola oil is everywhere. It's in every product. It's in cakes, cookies, pies, crackers, potato chips. It's in bread. It's in cereal. It's everywhere. Canola is a synthetic. It's not even real. You know, it happened. They took the rapeseed, and it happened over in Canada. And they took this rapeseed, and literally started to make oil for cars and machinery and ammunition. That's what they used it for. Wow. And they said, well, you know, we're gonna, you know, war's over, so we got this. What we're gonna do with this? Oh well, let's see. You know, we are in Canada, and it is an oil. We can make this. We can downgrade this for human consumption. So what did they do? They took the oil and they downgraded for human consumption. And then they said, well, what are we going to call it? Well, we in Canada, and it is an oil, canola. That's it.
Okay.
That's where the name comes from. Canola is a brand of, you know, Canada oil. That's all it is. And it's gunks up the liver, causes plaque buildup. And I'm telling you, it messes the liver up. Remember, because the liver is the one that's digestion. So that deals with, you know, the interferon and all those things that deal with the balance of blood. So if you gunk up the liver, that's like your car. And every guy can remember this. This is like your car, and you've never changed the oil in your car.
Wow. Yeah.
That's cholesterol. Wow. That's cholesterol. Wow. That's exactly what cholesterol is. It's like you never change the oil in your car. And you know when it loses viscosity and it gunks up all over your engine and everywhere. That's cholesterol. Yep. That's exactly what it is.
Got you.
So what do we do? Yes, those are the things that I see that are happening. Now, what can you do for that? Number one, stay off the oils. Unrefined oils only unrefined, no refined oils. Who's the greatest refiners? We are the refiners. So we want everything unrefined. Got it? Unrefined sugar, unrefined salt, unrefined oils. And then after that, there are some things that help though. One would be flaxseed.
Okay.
Another one, and this is not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease, just food for the soul, y'all. Just
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Another one would be sea buckthorn. Any of the chia seeds. Yep. Any of the chia seed family. All the greens, any of the green drinks. That's what the green drinks do. The red onion, any of the allium family. The red onion. Remember we talked about? I think we talked about the last time the red onion tea. Did we ever talk about the red
you mentioned that? Talk to us about that real quick.
Let me tell you, brother. I tell you, if I get more testimonies, that is the number one I get testimony on. Yep. How do you
I like my red onions too.
Yep. Okay. Red onions, but it's got to be a no conventional. It has to be organic. Number 9. Number nine. First digit has to be a number 9 when you go in the store. And the little sticker, number 9. So no conventional because they spray them. So if you take the red onion or any onion in this case, it could be any onion. What you want to do is you just basically boil your crystal geyser of water, take that red onion, you know, take the husk off of it, drop it in there, let it boil for about 20 minutes. When it gets soft like a ball, it's ready. Drink that hot tea all throughout the day. Get you a little thermos, carry it with you. You don't have to be a whole lot. It could be like 2 or 3 cups maybe. And just, man, it will clean out. Literally, we've seen if you consistently do this for 48 hours, you can clean the body out in 48 hours.
Wow.
Plaque buildup in the system. You know, if you do it successfully, you know, so it saves people from having clots in their legs, clots anywhere in your body. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Dr. Paul, I want to go back to my appointment with you. We talked about
KD is holding on to that one.
You just told me transparent today.
Listen, because I really feel like a lot of men are dealing with some of the same issues that I'm dealing with, almost heading into 49, but a lot won't ask the questions or talk about it. But one of the things I brought up to you was that I was dealing with prostate, which is one of the common things that men deal with, either frequently going to the bathroom, not feeling like we're eliminating, during a certain time of the day. So I talked to you about a few years ago. My doctor told me that, my urologist told me that my PSA was at like a 2.4. And because I was a black man, just from a white doctor, he was concerned and said I should get a biopsy. So when I talked to you about that, you had a little bit of a red flag concern about getting a biopsy early at that stage with that PSA number. Can you just talk about that just a little bit?
Absolutely. So when you're looking at a PSA number, that's an antigen number that we're looking at. And usually when you get a point above 4.0, that's when they start talking about, let's take a look. And when they started telling you that at a 2.4, that's way too early. That's way too early in my book. I think that with some dietary changes, getting your water right, staying off the processed foods, you can make a difference and change in that. I thought it was too early. I've seen men as high as 20 and higher. I mean, stratosphere, way out there. And we brought them all the way back, below 4.0. But what is it that we got to do? Make sure you're not breaking the rules. So remember, anytime you start doing a biopsy, you break the skin, you increase the chance for infection, no matter where you're doing it. Got it? Biopsy is breaking the skin. You increase the chances for infection. And I'm just in a disagreement with a lot of the allopathic industry when they, when something's wrong, the first thing that comes to mind is let's rip, burn, or cut it out. That's not the way you function with that. The body is a healing. We are bioelectrical beings, and the body just needs support to do what it can already do. You got it? So it already knows what to do. The blueprint is in the DNA. That's it.
Right.
You got the blueprint for healing. You just got to learn how to turn the keys. And that's where we breaking the rules. You just can't eat the way you want it, like the American diet. That's the problem. That's the problem.
Yes.
So that's where I was coming from with that.
Yes.
Yep.
And so I had blood work done again this year, and my doctor said it jumped up to about a 3 point something. So that's when me and you talked, and you wanted me to talk to Dr. Ethel Wilson, who I did reach out to you. She put me on a regimen of some natural herbs that I just want to throw a couple at you and just talk about its effect. She put me on pumpkin seed oil, and she told me to take that twice a day. What is it about pumpkin seed oil that's beneficial to us as well?
Specifically zinc. That's what it is. Zinc. Okay. Yep. Zinc is a very powerful for the prostate regeneration. And usually men, when we see the prostate issues, that's the first thing that's missing is zinc. Okay, zinc in the body. So I always recommend, the greatest matter of fact, we call, unsalted pumpkin seeds. We call them prostate pills. That's what we call them. So I tell all the guys, yep, there you go. You got the pumpkin seed oil. So those are good. So that's what happens. It regenerates the prostate. The prostate is the barometer of health for men. So the level of the erection also shows that. We adults here, and hopefully everybody listening, this is a man's adult thing, but it's the handshake look. See, y'all can see the hand right here. That's the level of the erection right there, like a handshake. So anything going down here is degenerating. Got it. So it should be something like that. Yeah. Erection. This is degeneration. So it's a handshake, we call it. But it's so many other things that are causing prostate issues. One we just talked about, urinary tract infections. Got it? We see a lot of that as first level stuff.
Yes.
Also lower lumbar issues, misalignments in your lower back. Got it? Because a lot of people are side sleepers. Side sleepers tend to remember what the vertebrae in your back does, right? You got the vertebrae sits like this, right? And then you have disc in the middle, and every disc in your back, there's a nerve, and every nerve in your back is connected to an organ in your body. That's why it feeds your organs. But if you got a misalignment, now the bone's sitting on the nerve, you just cut the signal, oxygen, and nutrients to the organ. And in this case, the lower lumbar feeds the lower part of your body, which is your male reproductive system, the prostate, also the sciatic nerve going down the line of your back of your leg, all of that. So when you laying down on your side, especially if you're a side sleeper, the spine tends to drop at the tailbone. Got it? Drop at the tail. So that means that you got to, number one, get on the alignment right. And then when you sleep, you got to put a pillow between your legs, raise the hip up. Got it? That's why they have those lumbar pillows where you put the pillow between your leg, raise the hip up so it doesn't drop. Got it? So that's very important for men's health. Also with men's health, sugar. You got to watch the sugar. Sugar causes the refined sugar, refined salt, refined oils, dehydration, and constipation would be my last one for men. Constipation would probably be on the top of the list, just like we just went through the whole process with the elimination here, doing the exercise. It's the biggest and number one problem, constipation. And that means fecal matter trapped in the rectum. Got it? Because in the rectum, you have right in the rectum is the thin line wall that leads right into the prostate on the other side. It's a very thin wall. And if it sits, starts to metastasize right through the walls, goes right to the prostate. And that's usually when they say an enlargement of the prostate, all those inflammation issues, that has a lot to do with trapped fecal matter in the rectum. So we got to get it moving. Too much meat in the diet, gentlemen. It's just what it is. Not enough fruits and vegetables. And I mean, we're in deserts. We're in deserts when it comes to food deserts, We're not getting enough magnesium, the potassium, the things that move the digestive system. So that's why we do the green drinks.
Two other herbs and that she recommended for the prostate: pygeum and palmetto.
Yes, pygeum or pingium is another one. It strengthens the prostate, starts to go in and sort of like a detox. It detoxes all the, by strengthening the prostate, starts to like an infection. It pulls the infections out of the system. So it strengthens the prostate. And what was the other one you said? Pygeum, and which was the other one?
Palmetto.
Saw palmetto.
Saw palmetto. Yes.
Saw palmetto. Right. That's another one. Another one filled with a lot of zinc in that. That's another one that's used. That's an herb that's used. So some people will say, well, I don't want to use just zinc tablets, though, and they'll use saw palmetto because it's high in zinc. Yeah. Very high in zinc. And also good for digestion too. Saw palmetto is good for, it has the ability to move the digestion. Remember, that's the key. Get it in and get it out.
Yes.
When you are not eliminating, that stuff is going to sit in your intestines and go somewhere. For our sisters that may be listening, this affects them in the opposite way. So it affects us in the prostate, but affects them in the uterus. So if this sits on the intestines, the lower intestines, right there where the women don't go to the bathroom, 1 inch from the navel, top of the uterus, that stuff starts to metastasize right from the intestines right down into the uterus. So we find first signs of things like fibroids, cysts, and tumors comes from not moving the digestive system, constipation, the consumption of too much meat. All you got to do, if anybody ever said in your family, they said they have fibroid, cyst, tumors in the sisters, you can always know it's got always something to do with digestion. They're constipated, seriously constipated. So we got to get it moving. That's what we got to do. We got to get it moving.
Hey Doc, I actually just got a text and the it's interesting because they said, Keith, I know this is a men's show, but can I ask the question? Absolutely. And it was specifically about Black women and fibroids, and we do have a lot of sisters that support us and that are fans of the show and communicate with us often. Absolutely. And her question is, why are Black women at a higher risk for fibroids, and why is hysterectomy the first option when they offer after years of suffering with them?
Yep, you got it. Rip, burn, or cut it out. Remember, I told you, rip, burn, or cut it out. Instead of talking the way we talking right now about cleansing, not eating certain times. A lot of people just stop eating meat in the morning. That would stop it right there. Nitrites and nitrates. Anything. The top 10 list I have. Number one thing is nitrites and nitrates. That's from meat. That's the preservative that goes on the meat. That's the pinkish color that's on meat when you see it. That's the stuff. That's the first stuff they found when they couldn't figure out why these children were coming up with leukemia. They were like, where are these children coming up with leukemia? Blood cancer in these children. Where's it coming from? Them little Lunchables. Yep. Little hot dog Lunchables. Yep. Filled with nitrites and nitrates. And they knew it causes colon rectal cancers and all these other things going on. So you got to get no nitrites and nitrates. But wait a minute. Let's back up on our universal principle. Don't eat meat before 12 o'clock, period. Because you're in a cleansing cycle. You shouldn't be eating meat. If you got to eat meat, and we say gotta, it wouldn't be if you gotta. If you just got to have it. You just got to have it. It's got to be between 12 and 7 p.m. That's your intake cycle. Got it? See, when you're cleansing, when you wake up in the morning, you're in a state from 4 a.m. till 12 noon. That's your cleansing cycle. So you're cleansing. So when you wake up in the morning, your body's saying, all right, let's flush, man. Let's keep it going. Where's my water? Where's my fruit? Where's my, flaxseed? Where's my green drink? Where's all that stuff to help me keep this stuff moving? That's why when you wake up in the morning, you got the crust in your eyes. You got the crust. You got the crust in the eyes. Say, Sandman came to see me. Yep. That's the gunk coming out of your eye. Wow. Yeah. You got it. That's the gunk coming out of your eye. Now, if you don't see that gunk coming out of your eye, guess where it's going? It's backing up in the eye. Now that's what you got folks saying. Yeah, we got a rise in cataracts and glaucoma.
My God.
And that's all it is. It's just that's all that cataracts is just mucus in the eye. Old folks just call it snot in the eye. It's just snot in the eye. This is it is. It's just mucus. It's toxins, and that's why it gets blocked in those little cranial arteries in your head, and the next thing you know, it blocks up, and that stuff backs up, and now they got dry eye, they got all this other stuff, but a systemic problem is you probably got a blood pressure problem. So it's pulling the moisture out of the eyes. So that is a perfect example of how you just got to get yourself back in tune to not eat at certain times during the day. You're cleansing when you wake up in the morning, so you don't eat meat until about 12 to 7 p.m.
Okay. Hey, Doc, I got a question for you. You talk about all these herbs and supplements and everything that we take. Does it matter if we take them like all together? Do we have to space them out? Is there a certain time we take them?
Yeah, each person is going to be different based on what they're experiencing. Some people who are taking medication, you don't want to take herbs and medication at the same time. That is correct. Okay. And that's because remember the difference between allopathic, which is pharmaceutical medicines, go against the body. So they're basically suppressing the symptoms. That's why they call it suppressive therapy. It's suppressing everything. Got it? Like when you're coughing, they're going to give you what? A cough suppressor. Stop you from coughing. But really your body's like, yo, I got to get this out, man.
Yeah, I got to get this out.
Let me get this out. So they go against the body. So whatever it's trying to naturally do. So when you're doing that, it was holding off till your body can get well by making you sick before I make you well. But the herbs are actually feeding you so it can correct the problem. You're going into the body's trying to correct it. So you don't want to do it at the same time. Usually we say if you're on medication, definitely check with your doctor, let them know what you're doing. But also transparency is key, but always 2 to 3 hours before or after your medication to take the greens or the herbs and things like that. But I would always say someone would need an assessment before anything.
But for someone that's not taking a medication, but we're just taking like the vitamin D's and the zinc and everything, would that be okay to take all at one time, or should that be spaced out?
Well, it's all based on what we recommend where the imbalances are. See, the whole concept is that it's based on ease. Your body's in a state of balance. Right. Where are you when you're out of balance? Because when you're in a state of balance, you're in a state of ease. But when you're out of balance, that's where the word dis-ease comes from.
Right.
So we basically are looking for wherever your imbalances are, find out where they are through the urine analysis or the RM3A or the testing that we do, and we feed it. That's what we do. And we feed that specific herb that's for you. And that's where it corrects itself. Got it? So we just basically are looking where the body's asking. What is the body saying? It's like it's a special language that it speaks.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to drop a bomb if I can. Go ahead, Keith. I've been hitting them.
Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah. One of the things, Dr. Paul. So we're moving now into an era where the mask mandate is being lifted in many public settings. Mm-hmm. Schools are moving in that direction, not just restaurants and sports arenas and things like that, but now with schools, they're looking at it as well as a possibility. Mm-hmm. I have a 9-year-old son. I send him every day to 3rd grade at school. Everyone has to wear a mask, and I've noticed since he went back to school a little bit after the pandemic, when they went from virtual back to in person, I've noticed a significant change in his health. He was one that had a lot of asthmatic issues, and we had to treat him with albuterol, especially around the time of the fall winter season. Runny nose, he would come home, picking up, had a cold or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, dude, we gonna keep this mask thing going, because I've noticed that he's been generally much more healthy, mm-hmm. And I'm not just going to attribute it to the mask mandate. I do give him elderberry in the morning before he goes to school, mm-hmm. Just to help bolster that. But mm-hmm. with kids and with the whole COVID thing, are you seeing any difference in children's overall health during this point in time?
Absolutely. The children's immune systems are, we say, closer to they can recover a lot faster than, of course, everyone else, because their bodies have not been exposed to all the pollutants that we have as being older and long period of time. So we just need to feed them the proper nutrients, keep them away from a lot of the sugar. Sugar is the main one. That's the main one. You got to keep the children off the sugar. Remember, don't reward them with sugar. Don't reward them. Give them something else. Don't use it, because you're setting them up for a fall as they get older. Right. So don't do that. The mask mandate, I believe, is still very mandatory. They're trying to move this ball down the field because they're trying to be able to live with this thing. But remember, wherever you're having this, the variants will always start to mutate. And people are getting the hokey pokey, I'll call it. They're getting the hokey pokey, but they're not realizing that was for Corona. That was 2019, not for what is happening now. Right. What's happening right now, I don't know if you heard about it, but they just shut down. They're shutting down China right now.
China.
China. China's shutting down. That's the overshadowing of the war situation right now, is really overshadowing what's really happening in China right now. They just shut everything down. Something like millions of people are shut down totally because they can't control the spread, and they haven't seen this since the beginning, 2022, when it first started.
Right.
Wow. 2020. Mm-hmm. They haven't seen this. And what's happening is their combination of the Delta and the Omicron. It's called Deltacron. That's what it's called. It's literally called Deltacron. It's a combination of both together. And that's where the variant is. They just picked it up also in France. And yes, they have detected it already here. So it's long over. It's not over. This thing is not, when you pack in the arenas, you bring in folks to school. yes, we are in a time where the body can regenerate faster because of it's getting warmer outside. You know, you're getting more air. You know, it's not cold weather where things can manifest better. But now you still have to worry about being safe. You know, and this, you know, that things. I mean, it's a lot going on, y'all, right now. And I would just say you err on the line of caution always until you can really say we got a handle on this. Now they just came out today saying, you know, that the cat, I'll say, I don't want to get nobody in trouble, said that that you really have to now have another booster.
A fourth booster, Doc.
A lot of people are not wanting to hear this. They don't want to hear this. But it goes back to the immune system every time. You have to build the immune system. The immune system is king. That's it. That's it. It's king. You know, that's God's blueprint. DNA literally means God.
Yes. Yes.
It really means it. Yeah. Deoxyribonucleic acid.
Yes.
DE meaning beginning, rabbi, God. Nucleic is center, and acid is fire. So that's God's first center fire is right there in you. It's right there. So it's, you know, you got to go with the blueprint, man. Y'all remember JC on that one? Go with the blueprint.
My God.
Doc, hey, Doc, I go and add this little question real quick. Like, do you find that we are too stuck in our ways that of the Western medicine to accept the natural medicine?
I think that it's been specifically isolated out, you know, and that was because remember the true healers if you go to every culture on the planet, you're going to find the natural holistic, you know, practitioners. That's because there was no medical pharmaceutical industry. There was just dumb woods. That was
Right.
Yes. And you had, that's why everybody in here had a grandmom, a grandfather, or something said, take this, boy. Right. And you said, I don't know what it is, boy. It was nasty. But I wasn't sick like I was, like people are now. You didn't see all this stuff happening. It's again getting away from God versus man. You know, coming up with anything that ain't got nothing to do with God, let's get away from it. You know, and because they can now control it, keep it in, you know, in their ways. So Western philosophy or philosophical understanding is where it's coming from. Their philosophical understanding is that they're coming from going against the body. It goes against it every time. So we don't do that. We say go with the body, you know, feed the body, do what it's already trying to do. Yeah. So I believe it's based in philosophy.
Yeah.
Okay. Good question, though. Good question.
Yeah, that was good. Doug, one of my last questions is for you, the work that you do, and you know, seeing the people's lives pretty much change. You know, when they come in to see you in the beginning, and versus when they leave, their body realigning, the happiness when they leave. What is one of the things that you're most proudest of?
Hey, man, you know, I tell you. I give this testimony all the time. I didn't even want to do this. I didn't want to do this. My thing was my father was Negro League ball player. You know, Gordon Hopkins played with the Indianapolis Clowns, with the Braves organization. You know, I was recruited to play baseball. That was it. That was my livelihood. I was being farm raised to play in the majors. That was it. And I didn't have anything, but I got railroaded. Most High railroad me, and then I got into, you know, at 14 years old, they said get all your, you know, you can get a scholarship for baseball if you get good grades. So I got good grades, and then next thing you know, they said we got a job opportunity for you. Like I don't want no job.
I want to play baseball.
I had only one in Philadelphia with a Yankees jacket on. You know, I'm working out school. I'm playing with the Yankees. I'm playing with somebody, you know, but that's where it started right there. I was recruited by SmithKline Beckman Pharmaceutical Company back when I was about 14 years old. And from that, they pulled me in, and then, but I think that was God's way of saying, I'm going to let you see this side first. And from that, I worked there for about 9 years. 9 years at the pharmaceutical companies, and I saw the biggest and the baddest. I saw the research. I was in R&D research. I saw all of that stuff. So I knew right then, something's not right here, because it's affecting people that look like me more than anybody. And then that's when I started to do the research. I left there, and then I went into the nonprofit industry, and we started doing programs in Germantown, specifically in Philadelphia. So we did programs and partnered with a lot of the institutions. So University of Penn, Einstein, Johns Hopkins, you name it. We partner with everybody in doing what's called evidence-based programs. So evidence-based programs mean we show that this person, this brother, sister went in, they had high blood pressure. And then we took them through a program of eating fresh fruits and vegetables. And when they came out, this was what happened. And we show verifiably that it works. So that's why it's called evidence-based. So that's where that comes from. So that's where, my greatest joy is when I can see someone finally wake up and the light goes on. They go like, "Oh, what am I doing? Oh, man, you need all this time. Find somebody say something." I'm mad. People start to wake up, man, and they become dangerous, man. They like, whoa, wait a minute, man. Tell my doctor something right now. They're like, hold on, pump your brakes, baby. This is where people start to ask the question. Now you strike a main chord with them to ask questions. That's all. And then they can still make the choice, because sometimes you tell people the answer and they still do the bad stuff.
Right.
So it's all information. Got it? It's all information. I think about the scripture that says, "I set before you life and death, and I pray that you choose life." Because everybody's not going to choose life. They want to still do their thing. Want to eat there, whatever they're going to do, that's okay. But at least you know now.
Right. Hey, Doc, if I could, real quick question. Can you tell the audience a little bit about the distinction between like a vitamin or supplement as opposed to like the GMO that you mentioned? Modified organ.
Yeah, see, we are the most genetically modified organism or producers on the planet when it comes to that, and China would probably be the two. What they're doing is they're modifying the seed, or the soil, or sometimes both. Why would you do this? Well, it's a lot to do with power, control, ability for them to now make money. It's always come back to the mighty dollar. So a lot of this GMO stuff happened when farmers, they initially came out and says, well, hey, Eric, Keith, Ward, Kevin, y'all got a farm going on. All right. So, it's costing y'all money for pesticide. So how about you take my seed, which I modified, and I put the pesticide already in it. So when I give you that, y'all be like, bet, I'll have to what? We gonna save all this money on pesticide? Give me all that seed. So you bought all the seeds from me. I gave you all the seed. You planted all that seed. Now, when you planted all that seed, you get your first crop, and then you come back with your second crop, right? So you get the harvest, and then you get the seed harvest, right? So now the seed you gather up because you about to plant them the next seed, but then Kev out there start doing like that, and then come up and say, whoa, what you doing? I'm planting my seeds. Them don't belong to you no more. They belong to me. You got it? Now, technically, you're spraying now seed. My seed or my copyright and patent is on your land. So technically, I own your land. That's how so many of the black farmers is less than now 1% because of that one factor.
Oh my God.
You got it? So they've lost the land because of that. So the GMO factor is that you take two principles and you mix them together to make something that you can patent, because it's never been created in history. It's never been done before. And that's considered patentable, which means that it's never been created before. I just did something. But this is what gets me. But because I'm saying to myself, wait a minute, that still don't make sense.
Right.
Because y'all heard the story about the joke about the scientists and God. They sat down. Did we tell this joke one time before? Right? You remember this? Did we ever tell this joke?
Tell it, Doc. Go on.
Yeah, y'all. I heard it this weekend.
You heard it, right?
I heard it this weekend. It's good.
Tell it again.
Tell it one more.
So the scientist said, "Man, God, we don't even need you no more." Yeah, that's right. We don't need you. You know, we can fly to the moon. We got airplanes, trains, automobiles. You know, we got drones. We can do anything, man. We don't even need you no more. Matter of fact, we can even go to the moon. So God said, all right, okay. He said, matter of fact, we're going to prove to you we don't need you. And we'll have a man making contest. And the best man wins. God's like, all right, no problem. So man gets his lab coat on. He's going over there. So he goes over to a big old pile of dirt. He gets over to the dirt. He goes like this. He starts feeling like this, just about to dig in. Just before he about to dig in, God said, I don't mind you making a man, but you got to get your own dirt. So it all belongs to God. So how can you say this is now patentable when you never owned the dirt to begin with?
Absolutely.
You got it? You never owned that. So yet when you put something that never been created before, that still doesn't belong to you.
Right.
You got it? So that's the concept of GMOing. When they GMO and stuff, you got to go. There's a website called non-GMOproject.org. Non-GMOproject.org. You can go to that website. And that site it's actually updated regularly. And it'll give you all of the foods that they've tested. And they're up to about 50,000 products right now. And also there's another one called Institute for Responsible Technology. That's the where you can get all the information. If you ever wanted a 101 on GMOs and how they do it and the dangers and the things that they're looking for, that's what you got to look for. It's called Institute for Responsible Technology. If you just do a search on that, it'll pull up.
Cool.
But it doesn't belong to them. Yeah.
Doc, just one last thing. The herbs that you shared for healing and for our bodies, are they safe for children as well?
Yeah, most of them are. We have a special thing. Remember, children don't need a whole lot. We tend to give children based on whatever is going on with them. We usually, if you feed them, they usually correct themselves very quickly. So that's why the elderberries are things like the syrups, things like the old Indian wild cherry bark syrups. They have a children's version of that, sambuco, which is the elderberry from Israel, things like that. You just give them things that they can, make sure the sugar's away from them, give them good things. And, just make sure they're getting a healthy diet and no skipping meals and watch the sugar. That's it. The main one is that sugar and that salt, man. That's the big one. The dyes also, the candy dyes. There was a study that showed, it was this one doctor, it was crazy. They showed a study that and he basically came out, they were like, just tried to come at the dude. He was just trying to tell him. He did the research and it showed that if you take these two products, and those two products was Doritos and Mountain Dew, put them together and it literally drove people crazy on the spectrum. Yep. It drives them crazy, man. It drives you crazy. It puts you in a rage state. I know. I don't want to get nobody in trouble.
And those are probably two of the kids' favorite. Them Doritos.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. That one. Yeah. So those are two that causes rage in the brain. It makes you erratic. Wow. Those off the central nervous system.
I guess I need to start taking some Mountain Dew and Doritos to work with me. Just sit it on the table.
Just in case, Ward.
just in case.
Yeah, we want to go off and say, well, he must have been having his Doritos.
Yeah, he had his Doritos today.
You're not yourself. You need a Snickers.
And all of the candy bars are GMO'd now.
Oh.
The whole entire Mars company has gone totally bioengineered.
Okay.
So that means if you look on a candy bar, you might want to have one in the house or go into the when you're going in the checkout line or in the stores. Mars has gone totally bioengineered right now.
Really?
What you're looking for is called bio. It'll say made with. You might want to write this down. Made with bioengineered ingredients.
Wow.
And if you look at your cereal, it's gonna blow your mind.
Oh my!
You're gonna see your cereal. You're gonna see your bread. You're gonna get mad. I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna get mad, and you wondering what's causing these digestive issues.
I know that's right.
Messing up the villi in your gut. See, if you can't assimilate, remember you got these little hairs in your gut. That their job is to take the nutrients out of food and bring it into you. But if you got this GMO and this sprays and this dyes and bioengineered and that stuff coats your villi. So when you eat real food, you can't get to it.
Right.
You can't get to the villi, so you can't assimilate. You can't get no nutrients. You're malnutrition. You're dehydrated. You're always hungry, and you can't see. And then everything never gets assimilated, so it pushes it into your lymphatic system, which is like garbage into your system.
Right.
It's funny that I just seen a post where they had a Snickers bar from like maybe the 60s or 70s with a Snickers bar of today, and they totally look different.
Yeah, really? It's not the same.
Totally, yeah.
The only ones I noticed that have not changed would be the Reese's, which is in the Hershey's company. They have not. Hershey's has not changed. So there's hope.
Oh man.
Not the Reese's. No, not the Reese's.
Not the Reese's.
But the M&Ms, they went down. They went down. They crashed and burned. The Snickers crashed and burned. Almond Joys.
Almond Joys too.
Yeah, all of that Mars. All that stuff, man. So I want you to start looking now. That's what the key word is.
Yeah.
The other one was the salmon. Remember the salmon?
You talked to me about the salmon. You told me leave it alone.
I keep looking at you like you upside down right now.
That's Keith Sting right there.
I'm a pescatarian.
What's up with the salmon?
Yeah, salmon, man, #1 GMO right now. In 2020, they started bringing in the first genetically modified salmon. Write this down. This is the company. Anything you see on this with a company with this information, don't mess with it. Aqua Bounty. That's the name of the company. It's called Aqua Bounty.
Okay.
Yep, or anything on the label that says Aqua Bounty. That's the ones that brought in the first GMO salmon. So they wanted to make a larger salmon. So how do we make a larger salmon? All right, well, let's see. We diabolical. What we gonna do? Let's see. We gotta make something to make it grow. How do you make it grow? Well, maybe we can let's see. Let's get the human growth hormone from another species, because that's what GMO is, right? So they reached and got the growth hormone, the growth hormone from a sea eel that grows, put it into the embryo of the salmon. Now the salmon grows and never stops growing. That's the key. And then that happened in 2020. So that first embryos came into the US 2020, right out of Canada, came in. Established in Indiana. They're in a company right out of Indiana called Aqua Bounty. And what happens is now they have the ability to, now the FDA say, all right, we're going to allow you to do it. And matter of fact, you can do it and you don't have to tell them till 2022. But when 2022 came around for them to start labeling it, now they said, all right, well, the coronavirus came in a way and, pushed it back. So now they indefinitely have now pushed it back to where they're not labeling it at all.
Okay.
So here's what I'm saying. You got to look for the ingredients. They have no mandatory labeling laws to have an obligation to tell you. So they will put whatever on there. Sometimes they'll say it, sometimes they don't. So salmon, I would just say stay off of it right now. There's other fish that you can have. Anything with fins and scales. You shall freely eat. Got it? They're upper swimmers, remember?
Okay.
That's the whole point. It's all about getting the right things that don't have, because remember, what the scales on a fish is like an armor. Got it? And that's what shakes off the parasites. Got it? That's why they move like that. They keep it moving. They're upper, and poop falls where? To the bottom. So they have to have fins and scales. Fins and scales. So if it has fins with no scales, leave them alone. That would be like what? Catfish,
right?
Flounder, Don't mess with no tilapia.
You're saying basically go with the old school porgies, huh?
Yeah, man. You know what I heard somebody say? Yeah, that's old people food. That's old people fish. I'm like, old people fish? Is there old people fish? Yeah.
Porgy
and
whiting.
I can't get with that porgy.
Sea bass.
Sea bass.
Sea bass is good.
Red snapper.
Yeah.
Steelhead trout. If you like salmon, Keith, you will love steelhead trout.
There you go.
I've had some steelhead trout. Yeah, I've had that.
Works good. Okay. Kingfish.
So Doc, even if the salmon, because I don't do farm raised, even if it's wild, same thing.
Here's the thing. We know that there's companies that may be still keeping it real, but they just don't have an obligation to still tell you if you decide to change. So you never know. So that's why just be careful. Like sometimes, you'll find those high end levels of smoked salmons, farm raised, and also the locks, high level locks and all that. So it may be good still. Okay. But you just gotta be very mindful. Be careful.
Sure. Thank you.
It's a lot going on.
You trimmed down my menu. Something bad today.
But you know what? It's a lot about you're gonna see the changes you've been looking for. Yes. When you do that, all y'all young gentlemen, we all young folks, we are in a different generation than our grandfathers and grandmothers were. They had a different bone density. Right. We got to really search for the energy that they already had because they were eating from the earth. Right. Our bone densities are different. If y'all have any older family member that's really older, like 80s, 90s right now, look at their bone density. They got them thick muscles, hands be like this. Uncle so-and-so be like, follow your hand.
Right.
Look at them paws, man. Yeah, man, different bone structure, different bone density, so a lot of that has a lot because they were eating from the earth, man. They were getting the real food. Yeah.
Good stuff,
Doc, appreciate you tonight as always, Doctor.
Yes, man. Pleasure, brother. Hey, man, this is how we talk, man. We just got to break this stuff down. The listening audience, I'm glad people are chiming in tonight and to share this because, people say, well, I had one lady in the day. She's like, hey, it's in our family. I said, it's in our family. Everybody got diabetes. Everybody got high blood pressure. It's just in our family. It's in our DNA. I said, no, that's not true. The only thing that is consistent is that everybody's eating from the same table. Generation after generation after generation. You got it?
Yes.
You can't go against the system. The body says, I am a righteous temple created by the greatest inventor in the world, in the universe. Yes. And if you give me sickness, if you give me junk, I'm going to show you disease. That's it. That's it.
Wow,
I only work and function with a spirit of righteousness and truth. So you give me a lie, I'm going to show you disease. That's it. Because that's the only way he gets down, man. Most fierce and terrible, bro. This is it.
Yeah.
So we got to understand we've been breaking the rules a long time.
Doc, can you let those viewers know where they can find you?
Absolutely. Sure. We are doing we're doing a test that Kev talking about, the RM3A.
Yes.
It's a full body analysis where you take we take your blood pressure, oximeter on your finger, and then we put your feet on this thing called a galvanic skin response pad. And basically in about 15 minutes scans the whole body. And then from that, we can give you what's called 8 risk factors. So all those 8 risk factors, we can tell you exactly where you are. We can catch a lot of stuff. It is an FDA approved test. And from that, we use that as a barometer along with the urine analysis to show you and make up and give you a game plan tailor-made to you. Got it? And if you want to get that, you can call 1-877-377-2854, and you'll get one of my assistants, either Ivy or Mulaney, and we'll book you in. and we're doing assessment, and we are doing specials with that right now. So we do a full body. You can even ask for what's called the works, and the works is a prepay special. If you prepay, you get even an additional 10% off with that. If you pay at the, when you pay at the point of your appointment. Got it? And let's see. You can also go to my website, which is www.drpaulherbs.com. We did come out of our 40-day Lenten season, or actually part of us are in it still. We were just coming out of a detox. I do have a detox that you can actually purchase online. And this is part of, the green drink that Kev showed you, also with the colon cleanse and the parasite cleanse. We say this is the beginning of a lot of people's health, is to go through a cleanse every change of seasons. As the seasons change, you change, right? Here we just turn the clock back over the weekend.
Oh,
Perfect
my God.
time. Perfect time for seasonal change, right? When the clocks change, things like that. Cleanse every change of seasons.
Okay.
You got it? So when you start to do that, you start to see things, you're going to see some stuff clear up you ain't never thought was ever going to go. I thought I was going to never move this arm like that. Got it? So that's what we do, man. And, like I said, you can also subscribe to the website, and we do all the things. On Facebook, I do have a private network. We set up a private network where everybody can just look at all the different shows that I do. Nice. So it's called Dr. Paul's Holistic Health Network on Facebook. It's a private network, but you can see all of the past shows and anything that we've done, seminars, any outings, conversations of any and all kind. And then you just, hit me up, and then I'll send me an invitation, and then I'll let you in, and then you can pretty much view all the shows for the last 2 years. Is in there. Nice. Yeah, last 2 years. Yeah. All right, gentlemen.
Ooh, my God.
Dr. Again, thank you.
And
Dr.
always
Paul.
pleasure. Sitting with the brothers. Sitting with the brothers.
I'm waiting for a cancellation appointment for a 3-month, my 3-month visit, but I got my 6-month visit in August.
Okay.
So, got it. I'm getting the works, Dr. Paul.
Absolutely. And sometimes people get a little bit discouraged if it's backed up right now, because when everybody gets sick and they get panicky, everybody kind of runs at the same time. Don't be discouraged by that. We have what's called first call cancellation lists. So that means if somebody cancels, Ivy or Mulaney, my assistants, we immediately start calling people. And whoever is on that list, just be available, because some people have been, 3, 4, 5 months out. We're in now, wherever we are, and they'll be coming in the next day. It's all based on first call cancellation. Sometimes people just overbook themselves. Things happen, things change, whatever the situation, and we try to get you in when we can. But don't let that be discouraged. Just make sure you're on that list when you book your appointment.
Gotcha. I'll be seeing you. Mine is in September, but we hoping for a cancellation.
Yeah, that's right. I'm telling you, man.
Ivy mentioned that to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And you might be in next week, man. Let me tell you, it happens all the time. Here's the bad part. We have times when people will come in at the last moment, 5 minutes before their appointment. They say, "Oh, I can't make it, doc." And we like, "Yo, man, somebody could have really used that spot. Somebody really could have used that spot." And I gotta tell it what it is, man. Brothers, we have the biggest problem. If I were to say of anybody that cancels the most, it is our brothers. It's us. It's us. We got to drag and pull, before we don't trust the system. And I understand that. But there's somewhere where you got to find out and do something. You got to do something. Don't just sit there and do nothing. Brothers will wait and just do nothing. I had this one situation where this sister was bringing her husband in, and he just was like, "I ain't doing nothing. I ain't going in there. Don't trust nobody." Right. And then when they got him in there, finally they got him to the doctors, not to me, but to the doctors. Yeah. He had gangrene in his foot, man. to the point where when they took his sock off, they pulled his toe came off. I mean,
oh my God,
like that. It didn't rot it in his
my
sock.
God. My God,
You know, because he was too hard headed to not something.
Right.
You got to do something.
Oh.
Got it. You got to do something.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you got to go in, but at least get checked out.
Yeah.
If you don't believe in the allopathic side, come on the holistic side. We can at least help you with that and to get you where you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not going to make you do anything. You're going to do that. You're going to choose life, not us.
Yeah.
You know, we just kind of make it a way in which you can do something and allow it to apply to your life, that you can start doing change.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, man. As
always, man, always a pleasure, brothers. I'm telling you, man.
Dr. Paul.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Always there, man. You know, thank you, man. And I love what y'all doing with this platform. And this is an excellent talk for men, but for everybody, for the human family right now. We gotta have these conversations. You know, and we have to sort of hold each other accountable. You know, how you doing, man? What you doing? What you doing? What you doing? What you doing? You know, you gotta hold each other accountable, you know.
Next time we have you on, we probably need to invite one of our females so that they can come and just hit you. You know, with a lot of their concerns as well, because they got them too. You know, I know they got a series of questions about.
Oh man,
and you address them as well.
Yes, absolutely. And everything we even talked about tonight is cross platform with male and female. You know, it's just stuff to live by. This is the laws that the universal principle laws that are set before us all. So we just have to know where we are and just kind of, stay with it, y'all. Just know when you feel that way, when you feel sick, there's a problem. You got to pay attention to that.
Right.
Don't forget that. You got it.
Yeah.
All right, brothers.
All right, fellas.
Y'all.
Dr. Paul, thanks again.
All right, man. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate y'all letting me in here.
Yes, sir. Dr. Paul, we were talking to you. Thank you.
Much love to y'all, brother.
Appreciate you. Right, much love, Dr. Paul.
Thank you, Dr. Paul.
All right, take care now. All right, bye-bye.
Yes.
Good stuff, fellas.
Yes, sir. That was a lot. That was a lot.
Good stuff. That was definitely a lot. That was definitely a lot. It was good. Definitely warranted. Oh man, so
disheartening though.
What's that, Ward?
Man, just like KD said, the menu had just fell off.
Oh man.
For all of us, some form.
Yes,
we all gonna cut something out.
AB, I went to the movies with Little Man last week to see the Batman.
Okay.
We snuck in our own snacks and stuff, but don't tell nobody. But when I went to the bathroom, when I went to the bathroom, I saw those peanut M&Ms. I grabbed them, but Doc said GMO, all those Mars candies.
Organs.
Yeah. Or he said they were bioengineered now. So that means
they're messing with the chocolate.
They're putting anything that they want to in our snacks.
They're making them last longer so they can produce more and prolong the shelf life.
But you know what, man?
That shelf life they expire quick.
But you know what? One thing that he did say that made me feel good, because I'm a Reese's fan. So he said that those Reese's have not been GMO yet. The Hershey product of Reese's.
They're next.
EB going get stuck on the Reese's. He's gonna be sounding like Luda on that new commercial with the peanut butter.
I'm glad to see EB. EB was at the gym on yesterday when he linked in with us.
EB gets his walking in.
That was beautiful to see, man.
Oh, thank you, man. I try to get a little, but as you said, I got to be honest, man. I'm walking, man. I ain't running on the treadmill. I'm walking. I'm walking.
But I
got in 3 miles walking.
Yes. You moving though, man. That's all that matters.
Hey, when Dr. Paul started talking about them candy bars, I gotta be real with you. I had me a little Snickers today. I needed a snack.
Yo.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody that's watching, thanks for joining us tonight. You can check out this podcast, share it with your friends on Spotify or iHeartRadio. You can go to our YouTube fan page, and share, subscribe, and continue to have these conversations like Dr. Paul said. Hey, Ward, are we doing anything with one of your segments?
Yeah, run it.
You want to get to that?
Run it.
Yeah,
run it.
Let's get to Ward's segment. And we're going to keep this thing moving, keep this train moving. Let's get it.
Shopping bags, they way down for all.
Right now, we're not going to do an actual man law today. I was thinking yesterday, something hit me, and I got a little rant. Something that's been weighing on my mind for a long time. Our black businesses, we gotta do better. Black businesses out there, at times it's like, come on, man. I want to support you. I love to support you. But hey, give me back the same love I want to give you. If you have posted hours on your door, keep them. Open up at 11 o'clock in the morning like you say you do. And don't close till 8 o'clock like it says you're supposed to. Be there. That's your business. That's your baby. Treat it like that's your livelihood. Your life depends on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Be consistent. Don't start out giving me a good product, and then 2 months later, you're watering it down. You're skimping on things.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna call out the place, but I went and got me a fish taco yesterday, and I swear, they sliced the taco in half.
Same price.
So it's like paper thin. You're skimping on you know what I mean? It's not like
they give you enough food, or
no, it's not like they didn't give me enough food, but it's like, it's the taco shell. They cut it in half. It was like paper thin. You can't hold it. Now I'm trying to grab it. It falls out in your hand. You know what I mean? Be consistent. Give me the same product that you did in the beginning.
I got you.
You know what I mean? Like I said, be professional. Don't come dressed up however you was, sleeping at home. You know what I mean? Be professional. Present yourself in some type of way. You know what I mean? Don't and what else I got here?
Hey, this spot, EB, this spot, wherever he went, man, this must have got up under this brother's skin.
Hey, man,
is that the spot in Cherry Hill?
I'm not saying names. I'm just saying black business. And here's the thing too, don't get basically, if you're offended by what I'm saying, then you're guilty of what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
What you mean by that word?
So it's like if all right, the post I wrote yesterday, I did say about being the black businesses need to do better. Then I'm getting like, well, what do you mean by that? And this and that. So I'm like, well, I say a lot of general things, so don't take it to heart. But if it applies to you, then it will only offend the people who basically are offenders of what I'm saying. So, basically, if the shoe fits, wear it.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a black business and you are running your business well, and you have professionalism, and you're there, you're always there, you open up on time, you put out the same product, kudos.
Right.
I love to come support you.
Yeah.
But it's like, come on, man. And then also train your staff.
Word.
You know what I mean? Just don't hire your cousin and your sister just because they family and bring them in there. Nah, make them work. Just just because they family, they just coming in on whatever they want to do. And then you got the people, their boys and their homeboys and their friends. They come in, they just walk in the back and go in there. They like, come on, man. This is a place of business. You gotta have some professionalism.
Hey Ward, I just actually, when you said you posted, I actually just went to your post, and a lot of people, I will say, certainly
they're agreeing. Yeah,
and they are going in terms of some of the services that in places, black business that they went to. So man, good point.
You know what I mean?
So how was the sandwich though? How was the sandwich? Was the sandwich good?
Well, it wasn't a sandwich. It wasn't a sandwich. It was a taco.
Taco.
It was a taco. I mean,
flavorful.
Well, actually, that damn shell made it. It was horrible.
Okay.
That really
because
it was like I've always gotten them, always stellar, and also too, take some criticism. You go in there and you say something to them like, you could do this, you could, you might want to try that.
Right.
Don't what I mean? I can understand, like, look, this is my recipe. I don't want to change it, but you are serving people. You can take suggestions like, some people may not like certain things and you might give it a try. Like, maybe I could do it this way. And it might be a hit.
Right.
So we can take some criticism also.
Okay. All right. And sometimes it's not even criticism. Sometimes it's just a suggestion, some advice,
or recommendation.
Right. Yeah.
Recommendation.
Stop putting so goddamn much salt in that. Yo.
Ward
things like that. Like, come on, man.
Ward has a rant, and we saw your energy when you were giving that rant. Yeah, I don't know if you're going back to that place or not, but I feel you though when it's time to. It was one spot, a cupcake spot, that we had gone to on South Street, a black-owned cupcake spot. We was going there for some time, and on the line it would say that they were open.
Right.
Good cupcake, good product, good baked goods that they have. And we would get down there and they closed.
Right.
So sometimes it could be certainly misleading and disappointing when you take that ride over there, the black-owned spot, because you want to support.
Right.
You want to support, but we go down there closed, man. I'll be frustrated, man, because I wanted me a nice cupcake.
Sometimes our people give us a reason not to support.
Yeah.
But I want to.
Yeah.
I'd rather come to you and get what I like than to go somewhere else.
Yeah. So instead of Ward's Manlaw, we got Ward's Rant tonight. Rant on black businesses. So Ward's Rant is for us to do better with our businesses. So let's bring up our quality of service, our quality of business, and continue to provide with a great level of excellence. Because that's who we are as a people. Fellas, good show tonight.
Yes, sir.
Good show tonight. We had a good show tonight with Dr. Paul Hopkins, man. I appreciate everybody for hanging in there with us for these 1 hour and 57 minutes. Rona, you can go back and check out the beginning of the show on YouTube.
Rona, what up, Rona?
Missed out. But join us in 2 weeks. We should have April Holmes on, Camden native, joining us as a guest on Just Our Thoughts. I'm your host, Keith. We got EB, Ward, and Kevin just jumped off. Not sure what happened with KD. Peace. We appreciate y'all. Love you. Thanks, Nikki.